Coach Rusher here, head men's basketball coach at Andrews University. We're live at the Newmyer Classic, Saturday night, championship night. I'm here with Coach Chase Hagley. He's the girls' head varsity basketball coach at Georgia Cumberland Academy.
Got it.
Coach, how's your experience been so far this year with the program?
It's been awesome. Second year here. It's been really good and fun. Relationships are awesome. Meeting a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches too. The environment's super friendly, and it's also competitive, which I just love that too. I'm a competitive person, a competitive coach myself, and it brings it out of you here too. But first and foremost, God is present at this tournament, and I absolutely love that.
Amazing, amazing. That's awesome to hear. All right, so I think where we left off was how does your strength and conditioning background, how have you implemented that into your coaching with the ladies?
Sure.
And then also, what are some points of emphasis that you think are important that you find yourself emphasizing again and again with the girls?
Yeah, definitely. As far as the sports and conditioning realm goes, we work on, at the beginning, implementing dynamic stretching, learning how to get the body warmed up, hopefully getting some team lifts in there, trying to write some off-season programs, giving them the ability to exercise outside of the realm, and all those pieces hopefully expand and grow as the program grows. But with my background in that, it's just one of my favorite things to do as well on top of coaching. Some pieces that I bring and emphasize to the program, I think understanding that it's a big learning curve and, having the patience to really understand that it takes time. Nothing is immediate in this world, and we live in a very instant gratification moment. So I think sometimes when concepts aren't hitting, or why can't I do this, why can't I move that way, it just takes time, repetition. And I'm all about competition. I'm all about how to compete. And for me, competing is that idea. Do you want to sit back and be on a successful team, or do you want to be the reason your team is successful? And I think that is the difference of being able to compete. And I ask that of my girls every single game, every time. I'm like, just no matter the score, no matter what it is, just compete. And that is probably one of my biggest emphasis. That actually was our motto this year, was go compete. No matter what, just compete. And I think it helps kind of break down that barrier of when things are going wrong, highs and lows. Just competition, compete, man. That's what I'm about.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself in some of those, because as we know as coaches, and it sounds like you got some experience with the patience, trust me, I hear that.
Sure.
Especially when you're trying to build and establish a culture. But when you find yourself in some of those valleys of coaching, and you find yourself having to go to some other resources, what are some resources that you find yourself going to? And what are some things that you tend to search and seek out information-wise to help you become a more complete coach?
For sure. I think, for instance, recently we had I had one of those coaching moments where, I guess I didn't get the full package of competition one night. Had a lot of girls shut down. And I think for me as a coach, one of the hardest things for me to do is to create fire back in the athlete when they've taken themselves out mentally. Middle of the game, how do I bring them back up to speed and back into it? And that is one of my biggest ones too. I ask other coaches all the time. So this tournament's great. I'll go talk to coaches, and I'm just like, I'll bring it up casually in conversation. And I'm just like, is competition ever a thing for you? Is competing hard for you? When you're down, like, what are some of the things you do? And that one is a big one for me. Like, when my girls aren't feeling the need to compete, and we're down in the game, scores down, it's like, how do you rally your team? And so far, my latest one that I tried was I put my bench in. And my bench was hungry, and I was like, go get him. Go get the starters, bring him out. And my bench came in and did what they were supposed to do, what a bench is supposed to do, and just kind of flipped the tide a little bit, and it got my starters hungry. And that was the first time I think I've ever really felt like, okay, bench, go do your job. And they came in and performed. But that can't always be the answer, so I think that's a harder one for me too. And as I grow as a coach, I'll have to learn more tactics, but that's my first one.
Like, maybe what are some resources that you go to, or what information do you seek out when you go to see?
Yeah, for sure. I love talking to other coaches, so that is one of the resourceful pieces I'll find. I will scour the internet. I love going and following other coaches' information. Sometimes I think I reach too high. I go up to like a D1 level and just to see what they're doing up there. Sometimes I think it's hard to remember that that's a big skill gap from a 1A to a D1. I think you can pull some pieces down, but it can't be verbatim. So I'll do that. And like I said, talk to other coaches. One of the ones that we struggle with at a boarding school is spending time for skills development and like camps. Like with boarding school, they all go home, so I don't get to see them for a handful of time. And then when they come back, all the other sports take precedent. So trying to find time as far as how do I emphasize like, hey, you got skill work to do. Like you need to work ball handling, shooting, and all that stuff. And that's been a harder one for me to implement as well. So trying to find programs or videos that I can instill with them as players.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So another question I have for you, and this will probably be the last one. It's with it being important for a college coach like myself, I get to recruit.
Yeah.
And I was a high school varsity coach myself for quite some time. And so what's important is you can't recruit in public schools, but you have feeder systems, you've got elementary schools and stuff like that.
Right.
So we would do a lot of youth building and things like that.
Yeah.
In the Adventist community, with sports being still relatively in its infancy, how do you find yourself building a feeder program to make sure that you don't have lulls in your talent or anything like that?
Sure, yeah, definitely. Hopefully through the feeder program, you mean for us too, like feeder for us or for you?
For you in particular.
Oh, okay,
for you,
me,
like, do you have a feeder? And if not,
yeah, we do.
How do you implement it? Yeah,
we do. We have a couple smaller elementary SDA schools around the area. My AD and I have actually been putting together a program to go in and us spend time. We'll take a couple players with us, and we're going to go spend time with those teams, with those K-8s as well, just to see, kind of make it an exciting feature, make it fun, right? And see who wants to like kind of fall in love with the game of basketball right there. They might be 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and you kind of get some. Maybe you run into some raw, like natural talent, and you're like, oh, there's some foundational pieces there.
Yeah.
But that's what we've had to do, just because some of the bigger schools here, you see how well it just flows through everything from 5th grade. 6th grade, 8th grade, up into JVs, freshman teams, and then it just goes right in. We don't have that, so we just do a little bit more of our work to find that feeding school. We have a solid elementary, but that's growing. So being a relatively new program, we're hopefully instilling the right pieces to make that grow for us and kind of come up our way.
Absolutely.
As far as a coach and some of the things for a college coach, SDA world is small, right? And I think making it known for the other teams and those girls, and I think girls in particular too, that like, hey, there's an option to go play college ball out here, and creating connections just like we're doing right now with high school coaches. I could be like, hey, yo, Jared, I've got this stud girl. I would love to send you some film or highlights on it. You know, can you pass it along to the girls coach, or can I have the girls coach here information, and go that way. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things in the SCA world as far as our programs, college collegiately trying to build, is creating connection with high school coaches and the college coaches, because that's, in my mind, that's a great feeder as well. As you guys can go out and you can recruit and outside of your stuff too, but it's always fun to have interconnections, inner circle stuff to be like, hey, Jared, there's some stud boys out here. Yeah. So-and-so, I'd love to send some film your way.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing to me, I think would be huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I definitely appreciate you taking
sir,
the
man.
minutes out tonight. And like you said, I hope we can continue to build this relationship.
Yeah, man.
Produce some players, and maybe we can come out your way down in Georgia sometime.
Yeah,
maybe put on a camp or a clinic or something like that. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So
I appreciate you, Jared.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Coach Rush here, head men's basketball coach at Andrews University. I'm here with Coach Devlin Robinson, Coach D-Rob, man. He's the head coach of the North Tampa Adventist Academy boys basketball team. They're playing in the championship tonight, and they got a whole lot of talent. Again, I want to reiterate, this is the JV boys basketball team playing in the varsity championship game against the Junior Cardinals tonight. Coach, do me a favor and explain to me how you and Coach Zach attract all this talent to North Tampa Adventist Academy.
First, God. We know God, of course, and then just being genuine with the parents, being genuine with the kids. So Zach is known around the scene, and a lot of guys are drawn to him. And one thing I can say about Coach Zach is he's very straightforward with people. And again, they're drawn to us. So we let them know our expectations, what we're expecting from them, how things will go, and then we go from there. A lot of guys buy into it. Then there's guys that don't buy into it, but God bless you all.
Right, yeah. You got to do what you got to do, building that program. And as a coach myself, been coaching for like 15 years. To me, one of the most important pieces to implement first is culture. What type of culture would you guys say you've implemented and built down there at North Tampa?
Family. A family culture, a godly-like culture, no man left behind. Coach Zach like to say a servant. He's building servants. So we like to think that we're here to help people. We're here to help these kids, and whatever way we can, whatever walk of life they want to take, we're just here to be a servant for them. Really.
Absolutely.
So,
no, I love that. I share that same sentiment. So one of the things I do with my boys, the team captains, is I tell them like we don't do the freshman hazing. Freshmen don't carry the bags, right? Everything is servant leadership. So we tell our seniors, our captains, you guys are the ones that get the water and bring it to the bus. You guys are the one that get the bags, make sure the uniforms is in it. You guys are the one that make sure that everybody else got what they need. Because if you're not a servant first, then you're not a proper example, to your community as a man. And so that's one of the parts of the culture that I also think is important. And I take that with me in everything I do. And so one of the reasons that we're doing this interview right now is because I started a YouTube channel, and it's because I want to help other coaches. I get a lot of people that reach out to me, and I just thought that it would be good to be able to do this. So, so another reason for this interview is so that I can be able to connect with guys like yourself, stay in contact, and see how we can bridge all these gaps and build this thing up globally. You know what I'm saying? Not just I'm building what I'm doing here, but we're building together. You know what I'm saying? A positive environment around basketball for young men in the Christian environment as well. And so one of the things I like to ask you is, being a coach at the high school level that has kids that can play at the next level and that aspire to play at the next level, what type of things do you think that a college coach could bring to your program in any facet, like to be able to help assist with building and helping kids achieve that dream?
That's a good question. I would just say, just being straightforward with the kids, letting the kids know. We like to say, use me. Don't let them use you. So there's a lot of coaches that, use kids for just this. Our job is use us. Our job is to build functioning members in society.
Absolutely.
We can't promise everybody college dreams and NBA dreams, but we can promise that you will be a functioning member in society. Some of our guys will be teachers, firefighters. You got to get a real job.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's our job to make sure that you're ready for the real world. So, and that's big with us, to make sure that these guys are stand-up guys. Coach Zach called it an everyday guy. We want everyday guys around us. You wake up and you do it every day. That's the way life gotta be, especially as a man.
I love that, man. I love that, absolutely. I really want to stay in contact, man. No, Coach, I appreciate your time. I wish you the best of luck tonight, man. Don't be too hard on my junior Cardinals out there. Do your thing, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Love it, bro. Love it. Jared Rusher here, head men's basketball coach at Andrews University. We're here with Ryan Hayes, head men's basketball coach of the Junior Cardinals. And Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, you're in your first year coaching period, but coaching with the varsity boys, and you're in the championship of the Newmyer, right?
Yeah, it's super exciting. First year. I've been watching these guys for a number of years, and my wife has helped coach them, but this is my first year as a head coach, and actually just coaching in general. And it's been exciting watching these guys develop, figuring out coaching, how to run practice, and it's been a lot of work, but I had some help.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey, I'm sure. But with you being in the championship in your first year at the Newmyer here, what type of things have you found the team being successful with? What maybe have you implemented to kind of get the guys to this point?
You know, one of the things that really helped me get the program started was actually working with you and the university team and watching you run a practice. Up tempo, you know, great drills, a lot of fun there. And so I just learned a few things from you. And then after that, it was talking with the players. And as we were setting up offense, hey, what do you guys see? And getting them to buy in and understand the play. And then when they understood the play, hey, what do you guys want to call it? You know, and so this is their team, this is their offense, these are the things that they really invested in, and I think they really enjoy that ownership over what we're doing here. So, you know, it's a give and take. You know, we set the model, we set, you know, the framework, and then we let them tweak it a little bit. We don't let them run everything, we let them tweak it, and I think that ownership has caused a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. And then just knowing that, hey guys, we're always leading to something. The Newmyer tournament.
Absolutely.
So we've been building for this, yeah.
Yeah. So big game tonight against North Tampa. Win or lose, I'm sure you guys are going to feel like you've had a successful season up to this point.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we get a dub tonight. We bring that trophy back to Andrew.
That's right.
But being a college basketball coach and yourself being a high school varsity basketball coach, what are some ways that you think that coaches like myself can aid coaches like yourself in the process of building successful programs?
Yeah. I think having some resources to help coaches understand what type of offense, because it's easy to say, hey, run the Princeton or whatever, but how do you know what to run for your team? Because not every team's built the same, right? You may have more bigs or maybe it's a smaller offense. So how do you help a high school adjust maybe? Because it's easy to do what you're comfortable with, right? Because I'm like, I'm comfortable with the offense I'm running now, and maybe that's not right for my guys next year.
Okay.
So, like, how do you help figure that out? I think helping some good all-inclusive activities, you know, in practice that are building multiple drills at the same time, skills in a drill. And because you gave us some earlier, and that actually really helped me.
Yeah.
It made practice fun. We're moving, so we're ready for a run and gun game if we need that tonight.
Yeah.
We're also ready to slow it down and, you know, execute an offensive plan. And honestly, you gave us a lot just by being able to shadow you. But if those kind of resources, if the other coaches out there knew, hey, got great drills. Yeah, you can find some online, but maybe what's some for your team?
Right.
That's a little more specific. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's good to know. Whoa! Good luck tonight. We hope you get it down, man.
Hey, man, thanks.
We look forward to more.
Appreciate all the help along the way.
For sure. Yeah. I want you to put the game in perspective. 7% of high school basketball players play any level of college basketball, right? 7%. So think of 100 hoopers that you know. 100 hoopers that you know. 7 of them dudes is gonna play any type of college basketball, whether it's this level, D3, NAIA, D2, D1, any of that stuff, right? So you got to ask yourself, are you doing what you need to do to separate yourself from the other 93 hoopers that you know? And if you're not doing those things, then you need to start doing those things. If you want to get on a college coach's radar, then you need to be up, getting in shots at 5 a.m., up, getting in the weight room. If you don't know what to do, you need to get in contact with a coach or a trainer or an uncle or somebody who done it. And do those steps. Like, you need to be watching film. You need to be reaching out. Like when I was growing up, we didn't have all this internet stuff, right? So when I was trying to get recruited, I had to actually go out, look people's phone numbers up, call coaches, go on visits myself. My pops is the one that got me recruited to play college basketball. I wasn't a coach, right? So don't put that type of stuff on y'all coaches if it's what you really want to do. Man, y'all got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There's field level. There's all these different ways, NCSA, whatever that program is to get you recruited. You can get yourself recruited. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and your coaches have the connections to get you recruited, then you're gonna be all right? But again, if you're not doing the things that it's gonna take to separate yourself, don't expect somebody to come knocking on your door and be like, yo, little bro, you wanna come play some college ball? It ain't gonna happen, man. You gotta reach out. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If you're not 6'5", and you don't have an elite guard skill set, cancel Christmas. It's not going down, right? So even you, what you about, 6'6"? You need to start working and have an elite guard skill set. Because I'm sure you want to play some D1 ball, right? I seen you jump. You can get up, right? So you got the athleticism. You passed the eye test. But do you pass the skills test? And then beyond the skills test, y'all got to ask yourself, like, if I'm not getting one of the top level offers, if it be D1, D2, anything like that, then you're going to be looking at schools that can't offer scholarships. Andrews is a place we don't offer athletic scholarships. That's not to say that we can't find money in other places, but I can't come to you and be like, yo, I'm gonna give you a full ride, because we don't have it for athletes, right? And there's tons of schools like that. And even the schools that offer scholarships, a lot of them offer what's called partials, right? And a lot of people don't know what partials is. But basically what that is like the school has a pot of money and they got, let's say, $50,000 to give you athletic scholarships, right? And if the tuition is $20K, that means I got 2.5 full rides, or I can split it all up and give you a partial, give you a partial, give you a partial, and build my team that way. So what becomes leverage in that point is your character, the way you conduct yourself. Are you on time to class? Are you an asset in the hallways? Are you breaking up fights? You egging on fights? Because believe it or not, when I'm calling and I'm recruiting guys, I'm not just talking to their coaches. I'm talking to their mamas. I'm talking to their daddies. I'm talking to your teachers. I'm sending emails to all these people. If I really, really want you and I got money to give. I came from another school where we offer scholarships, and the recruiting process was completely different. It's a lot more in-depth because of that money, right? So if I'm basically paying you to come hoop, I want to make sure I'm getting my money's worth. I want to make sure that when you come here, I ain't got to chase you around campus and make sure you're going to class. I ain't got to chase you around, make sure you getting back to your dorm before curfew and all of that. I gotta make sure that if I'm not gonna be there for the weight room session, you're gonna be on time, you're gonna give the assistant coach the same respect you give me. These are the type of things that college coaches is looking at and looking into, right? So it's bigger than basketball, because when you come here and people putting $40,000 behind your name for 4 years in a row or whatever the case may be, they wanna make sure that you're gonna represent their culture before you represent on the basketball court. Because again, if you ain't 6'5" with an elite guard skill set, I guarantee you, I can go to any open gym in America and find a guy our height that can do what we can do. So if you my height like this, and you can't outball this dude that got the same skill set as you, I'm not looking for you, right? And if you ain't doing everything you gotta do in the classroom and all of that stuff, you're not getting looked at, right? So you want to make sure that your character is in the proper place first, right? All of that stuff. So with that being said, that's just a little nugget I wanted to leave y'all with about the recruiting process and what you need to really do to get looked at the collegiate level. Y'all got any questions for me? And again, it don't even got to just be about Andrews. It can be about hooping. It can be about shoes, whatever. Like, I'm cool, man. So y'all got any questions?
How do you get college coaches' numbers?
I would say don't worry so much about college coaches' numbers. Man, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, like that's where most of the recruiting is done nowadays, and relationship building, right? And the other thing too is I want y'all to keep in mind the recruiting landscape has changed over the last couple of years. So a lot of guys coming straight out of high school, if you're not a top level dude, they not really looking there. Like college coaches are now looking at JUCOs first. They looking at transfer portal first, then they looking at JUCOs, then they looking at high school kids, right? So that's even more so why you need to be able to separate yourself, because you now not only competing against other high school guys, you competing against grown men that's played 2-3 years of college ball. They got injured red shirts and all that other type of stuff. Like you said, you guys are all sophomores. You got 2 years, right? And I done watch y'all hoop. I know you boys can ball. I know you guys a lot of you guys got college potential, right? But I just want you to take the stuff that I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to say that you're not doing what you're supposed to do to play at the college level. I'm trying to tell you that you need to make sure that if you're doing it, really lock in if that's really what you want to do with your life. You feel what I'm saying? How y'all feel about this championship tonight?
We excited.
Y'all feel like y'all gonna handle business?
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. I expect to see a good game tonight, man. So, again, last time, man, y'all got any questions for me? Nothing?
Oh yeah, one last thing. He's not 6'6", he about like 6'7".
You about 6'7", something like that? No, that's what's up, man. Hey, I would love to stay in contact with y'all. I think all of y'all are great, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really like watching y'all play. Y'all fun to watch. I would be interested in bringing some of y'all on campus. As far as Andrews University, this is not your father's Andrews University basketball team. This is my first year here at Andrews as a coach. I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. So my father was the first head coach at Andrews in the 90s that took the program and made them play an intercollegiate schedule. Before that, they just played intramurals and like 2 games a year against other Adventist schools. So in the 90s, my pops turned this into a real program. I never expected to come back here in any capacity or anything like that. I played a year of JUCO ball. I grew up Adventist. Let me start there. I grew up Adventist, and my father was Adventist, my mother wasn't. So my parents got divorced when I was like 7, which is the same time my pop started the program here, right? So I fell in love with hoop because for me, it was like a stress reliever. It was a place where I could go for therapy to get away from all the drama and nonsense that was going on at the crib, right? And so fell in love with hoop, played for a really good high school team. Again, like I said, my mother wasn't Adventist. I lived with her, so I didn't necessarily grow up Adventist like that, so I played on the Sabbath and stuff like that. But I played 1 year of JUCO ball, and then I got back into church, and I stopped playing JUCO ball. From there, I ended up coming back here and just hooping for a year, right? Life happens, I stop hooping, I immediately get into coaching. But through coaching, I played some semi-pro, I played some pro-am leagues down in Nashville, stuff like that. But I coached all the way along through there, right? I coached a team that finished 5th in the Nationals in Las Vegas, down in Huntsville, Alabama. I took over a program that had only won 3 games in 2 years. And then at the end of my 2nd year, we were ranked number 10 in the state. COVID took over after that. I got out of coaching for a year. And when I came back to it, I got to coaching in college, right? Helped revive a program not too far away from here. And then I heard about the problems that they were having here at Andrews, right? Andrews has not won more than like 6, 7 games in like 5 years. So when I heard that they needed to, they were looking for a new coach, I applied, came back over. This is my 3rd go around here at Andrews. My first go around, I put up 2009 banner, right? Had I 4 years, 11 and 12, I'd have been the starting point guard for both of them, all right? We win, whether I'm playing or whether I'm coaching. Last year, this team was 2-22. I got the job at the end of the summer. I was only able to bring in 1 recruit. That was my little cousin who played for me over at SMC, all-time leading scorer over there. He came over here, this joker averaging like 22 a game. First season, coming off 2-22. We're 10-10 right now. We just beat the number 10 team in the nation. I just recruited another kid, come from my hometown. He's transferring from a Division I school, Arkansas State, to come play ball here. This is not your father's Andrews University basketball team. So if you're looking for a place that, are you guys Adventist? Is North Tampa even an Adventist school? It is, but not everybody's Adventist. That's cool. But what my point is saying in this, if you're looking for a place where you can come and you still get that Adventist environment or just a Christian environment in general, and you looking to hoop at a high level, this program is not going to stay where it has been. This program will elevate. Again, everywhere I go, we win. I'm looking for hoopers, I'm looking for winners, and I'm looking at a group of winners right now. So I would love to stay in contact with you guys. Please follow me on Instagram, coach.jrush, okay? Coach.jrush. Please follow me on Instagram. Let's stay in contact, even if you're not interested in coming to hoop here. I just love helping hoopers, right? And I love building relationships. That's what's really important to me, all right? So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me y'all ear for a few minutes, man. And I look forward to y'all putting on the show tonight. Let's do it. For sure, for sure.